Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the world of the International Fabtalks. Good afternoon, everyone. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day out there. When we connect with unsung heroes, when we connect with the right kind of people who have had a lot of experience and who continue to inspire the world in the right way, making you understand the importance of your life, making you to understand the importance of this existence, that we all are here on this earth for a purpose. And it's not just like that, we come, live, and go back into the soil. So we have a wonderful person who's going to share his knowledge. He has gained a lot of knowledge through a lot of experiences and connections with different kinds of people and situations in life. Join us, friends, to welcome our special celebrity and guest for today. He is Mr. Thiru.Sukumar Srinivasan. He is joining us all the way from Chennai, Tamilnadu, India. Hello, sir, and welcome to the session.
Ma'am, thank you very much for calling me, for participating in your Fabtalks. Let me share my experiences and also be part of others' experiences as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you. I'd like to share your profile in a brief way and then we go ahead with it. Yes. Thank you, sir. So, dear friends, it's time to share sir's profile. You must be wondering as to how sir has come to this level of understanding the inner self, understanding the importance of the human mind and the human connection with one another. So, I just like to share sir's profile in a moment, my dear friends. Sir has completed his MSc in physics and he's also into the banking sector. He's been a teacher. He's been a junior lecturer and a probationary officer in a nationalized bank. Apart from that, he's also held the managerial post as the general manager of the bank. And at present, he's a wonderful seeker of Gnana Margam. We go deeper into it to understand, sir. He has taken a VRS, that is voluntary retirement service, after 20 years due to unfavorable working conditions. Now, together with his brother-in-law, a wing commander in the Air Force, who's also a VRS, he has retired, voluntary retirement he has taken, and they started a wonderful IT hardware and software company. But Sukumar sir has come out of it after 14 years. Now, sir is very much focused with regard to public service. He'd like to enlighten people in the right kind of way, as he is a seeker of Gnana Margam with a decade of experience in this beautiful path of understanding the self and understanding what is Gnana Margam. Let us all understand that. Sir will give us a wonderful insight into that, dear friends. Now, in this field, it is spreading the knowledge of the self only for those who want to seek it. Many of us are not interested, but there are a few people who are really interested to understand about the inner self, who you are, what you are, and why you are here on this universe. And dear friends, he's trying to target the young people to wean away from their superficial living without any identification to any of the things that they come across. They should really be connected with their own life, understanding the real existence of this beautiful gift called as life. And sir has a wonderful YouTube channel as well called as Divine Seeker 1658. I repeat, Divine Seeker 1658. Wherein about 400 plus short videos on Gnana Margam are being put up for the public at large, for everyone to benefit. So today we are really privileged to have sir's presence to enlighten us and to take us on the right track, because most of us, including me, are off the track sometime or the other in our lives. Join us, friends, to have a wonderful session on enlightenment. Hello, sir, and welcome to the session.
Thank you, ma'am, for the nice gesture, a nice introduction. And a very brief, you have covered my entire life as such. Good. You see, I was a country cousin. Like, I was from a village in South Akkad district in Tamil Nadu. So I did my schooling there in the village, in a Tamil medium school, government school. And after that, of course, I graduated from the Chennai Madras University. And thereafter, I did my post-graduation from Nagpur University and specializing in electronics, MSc Electronics. Thereafter, I worked as a teacher in a school and a junior lecturer in a college. And afterwards, I joined a bank, Nationalised Bank. Now, the earlier part of my youth was not that happy, circumstances. It was sort of because of family feud and all that. There was a lot of tough times ahead. So I had to go from house to house in order to complete my graduation, staying in a house for 2 months, another house, all relatives, another house for 2 months. And finally, in the third year, I didn't have any other house to go to, except when one of my very close friends who was my colleague in the college, he took me to my house and completed the third year by staying in his house. His name is Bhaskar. I recall his assistants. And thereafter, my brother-in-law, who was a retired wing commander from Air Force, he took me in his fold, and then he was in Nagpur, and at that time he got me a seat for MSc in Nagpur. I completed my MSc staying in his house, and thereafter I come across with the usual job employment market. I just applied for it. It will be really funny to find out why I joined a bank. Why I joined? Not particularly interested in any particular banking profession as such, but wherever there was an employment offer where they didn't ask for any money. In those days, they used to ask for a pay order, or the postal order. They call it postal order. So whichever I didn't ask for any money, I will apply for that. So that way, all the banks were asking for pay orders of 50 rupees those days, 50 rupees and 100 rupees and all that. So the only two banks didn't ask for any pay order. They just wanted an application. So I was a graduation in first class, MSc in first class and all that. So I applied to that Canara Bank and Syndicate Bank for the post of probation officer, which is supposed to be a very plum post in those days, because it was offering quite a lot of good salary, and of course the banking profession as such. So I got selected in both the banks that I joined Canara Bank as a probationary officer. So that is how I got into banking, not because of any particular passion for banking and all that. So I joined, and then I worked in many places in Bombay, in South and in Karnataka and all that. And finally, I got a VRS from when I was in Trichy, because I was posted again back to Uttar Pradesh, where because of family circumstances and all that, I was not willing to go there. So I took a VRS. Simultaneously, my brother-in-law also took a VRS from Air Force. So we joined together, and then got the starting a software training center in the name of First Computers, and also we were a the first franchisee for Wipro's hardware business, printers business. Now that business is still existing. Unfortunately, my brother expired in 2002, and my sister is now looking after that. But that gave me a lot of exposure to the IT industry. So there I was there till 2003, and thereafter I came back because of some internal differences with my sister. I just left it because I just wanted my sister to flourish. After losing my brother-in-law, she was alone, so I didn't want to have any sort of competition from my sister. So I wanted her to flourish. So I left it at that, and then came out. So from there onwards, I was of course into public service, and as well as the spiritual, what we call as a Gnana Margam. You see, to get into the Gnana Margam in the sense, what we call as Almigam, people come out of sheer misery because of all the sorrows which they face. And this turns their life into another direction. It is like a course correction. You see, instead of being in a normal life, suffering after suffering and all that, they come into this particular field, and it is maybe it is sort of predestined. So it was like that. So I was there. My first guru was the Valala. Valala was, one of the greatest saints which the Tamil Nadu has produced, and who does not have that recognition what it deserves. So from that teachings of Valala onwards, I have gone across other masters like Ramana, J. Krishnamurti, Osho, Nisargadatta Maharaj, and so many. So going across all these masters has given me a very strong foundation in the Gnana Margam, and because of which I have got we call this as enlightenment. The knowledge of self is called as enlightenment. Now that itself is a misnomer, you see, because enlightenment is a word which is ordinarily used in English language. Suppose if I don't know anything, I will ask you, Madam, can you please enlighten me on this? Isn't it? We ask like that. So enlightenment is not that. While in Tamil or in Hindi, it is called as Jnanam or Dhyan, like that. So the Jnanam is something which is not used in the day-to-day language at all. So enlightenment cannot be equated in the language wise. It cannot be equated to Jnanam. It is something above that. But for want of any other word, we continue to use the word as enlightenment. So enlightenment is nothing but to know the self. To know the self. Who are we? Why we have come here? And what's the purpose of life? And how do we live, how we are supposed to live in this world, along with the nature, along with all other, 84 lakhs of species in the world. Along with that, how are we supposed to live? Because man is the only animal who has been given tremendous amount of freedom in the life. Now, whether the freedom was given what we call as God or Creator or whatever way, or a supreme intelligence, whatever name we give, we are created. We are part of the creation. And the part of the creation, we are supposed to be in the higher, echelons of on the theory of, growth, Charles Darwin's growth. So we are at that upper level. So there we have been given the amount of freedom which no other creature, no other plant, no other animal has been given, with a specific purpose. With a specific purpose. That is what the masters say. The enlightened masters say, you have come here in this world for going back to the same source from where we came from. You see, that is the purpose. That is what they say. So, but the people think a different way, and they do not know the purpose, first of all, because of various circumstances, the various ways, the living conditions where they live, because of the, the knowledge which has been imposed on them at our level, at the family level, at the society level, or the college level, academic level, and all that. We have not been exposed to the true knowledge. We have not been exposed to the true knowledge at all. We have been given some sort of, impositions. The knowledge has been imposed on us. The way we should live has been imposed on us. And whatever knowledge we have got is only an accumulated knowledge. Or the knowledge what we have got is a borrowed knowledge. It's not a knowledge of our own. See, it is not a knowledge of our own, because even for take our own, how the body is concerned. As far as the body is concerned, the body has got a knowledge. It is not that we teach something for the body to carry out its functions, all the organs. That is real knowledge. That knowledge has been given by somebody. We will assume, see, Creator has given or God has given, whatever it is, but it has been given. That knowledge is the original knowledge. But the knowledge what we have accumulated in our brain is a borrowed knowledge. It's a knowledge because somebody invented something, somebody discovered something, some books are written there, this, that, and all that. We accumulate that knowledge, and basing on the knowledge, we try to live in this world. We live in this world using that knowledge alone, which is not correct. Because that knowledge has given, tremendous amount of advancement in science and technology. And all of us live in present generation, all of us live with an amount of luxury and comfort what cannot be imagined even our wildest imagination. See, 100 years back where we were, and now where we are, the advancement in technology is tremendous, so which has reduced the muscle power. We don't need to use our body's muscle power at all. Instead, everything can be done sitting at one place, and you can do everything. In science and technology has surpassed all imaginations, and people are still going behind that. People are still, scientists and technologists are still going after that to find out what is what, and they are trying to find out the ultimate, which of course they will not be able to. With all sort of humility and humbleness, I will say they will not be able to achieve what they are trying to find out, because that is beyond our knowledge. Because our knowledge is limited. To whatever extent you extend your periphery of knowledge, we will not be able to achieve what has been already created in the universe. So that is one aspect. The point is, as I said, the amount of advancement we have made in the science and technology has improved our life standard in the external world to an extent which is unimaginable. But to that extent, have we achieved inner happiness? You see, the growth has to be organic. The growth has to be organic. The growth has to be, to whatever extent you have achieved in the outer world, the same level of growth should have been achieved in the inner level. But we have not achieved. Now, what is the inner happiness? Just for example, you see, say over 100 or 500 years back, the man was having all sort of emotions, negative emotions, isn't it? He was angry, he was fearful, he was lustful, he was vengeful, you see, jealous, everything was there. About 500 years back, the man was having all these negative qualities. Now, after all this advancement in the external world, does that man has the same negative qualities even now? He has, isn't it? I have an anger. Even today, I'm having anger. I'm having a fear. The lust is there. The willfulness is there. The jealousy is there. The cunningness is there, which was existing even about 500 years back. Now, that means the whatever is the advancement we have made in the external world has not been touched even 1 inch in the inner world. That is something paradox. It's a paradox. It has to be why people have not applied their mind to that extent. Why leaders, religious, political, scientists, learned people, poets, so many people, why they have not applied their mind and did a course correction so insofar as that the man has to improve inwardly, parallelly. The growth has to be parallel, both in the outer world as well as in the inner world. It has not happened. And nobody has applied them except, of course, there are masters. Is it like, all these masters, what I have named? All these masters have done that. They have achieved. And they have tried to guide the world in that direction. But they were pushed to the background. They were not given due importance. They were not given recognition at all. And they remain in history. And we have started worshipping them. Instead of trying to find out what they try to teach us and achieve inner happiness, we have deified them. You see, we have made them as gods. We made all the masters of this and we start worshipping them. Like we worship the gods and all that in all religions. So the religions have played a major role in suppressing the growth in the inner world of the human beings. They have charted a particular path in which they have made the people to travel in a particular fashion, not allowing them to enhance themselves, not allowing to elevate themselves to a higher level so that they could achieve inner happiness. And what is inner happiness? It is only nothing but having a love and compassion for all the living beings. See, that is what is intended. That is what is intended by the Creator. You're supposed to you see, if you take the animal world into account, they live peacefully among themselves. They do not have, any laws or any court or anything, hospital, anything of the sort, but they live peacefully. They don't kill their own race at all. No elephant kills another elephant. No sparrow kills another sparrow. It can be extended to any species, living animals. Same way, in the plant world, no plant kills its own race. It allows all the plants to live by themselves. A tall tree is there is a grass downside. They live coexist peacefully. They don't kill. But the man, he kills his own people, own race. The man who is supposed to have the freedom, absolute freedom, and who has got the capacity to think and act. That is the beauty. The man has been given a mind and he has been given a thinking capacity. With that, he is supposed to live, elevate himself to a higher level, and live coexistence in a peaceful way. But that has not happened. On the contrary, he has started killing his own race, not in ones or twos or threes or something. He kills in lakhs. The wars happen. Thousands of people are there. Existing, the present Ukraine war and all that, the Palestinian war and all that. Lakhs of people are suffering like misery. And it's all created by man. Nobody else. None of the animals have contributed to this massacre. None of the plants have given. Not nature has given, but only the man. And what is the purpose of the knowledge which he has gained, which he has achieved? You have got a lot of alphabets in front of you and a lot of alphabets behind you. I mean, besides your name, what's the purpose? We have not achieved. So the knowledge what we have gained, the academic knowledge what we have gained, is utterly useless. It is utterly useless in the sense it permits you to gain a good profession, a job, you earn lakhs and lakhs of money, create a business, create a startup, do everything and whatever possible, find out things which are not there in the universe anywhere, find out so many things. That is what the knowledge is for. But that knowledge has not given any amount of increase, even by an inch, towards the inner happiness of the man. Is it not true? Is it not true? So there is something lacking in our understanding. There is something lacking in our education. There is something lacking in the way the country, the societies are run, unless or until they try to follow the paths shown by the masters. Jnanis, we call them Jnanis. And how we should see, in fact, the religions have, even though I say religions have not allowed people to come out of the lower birth. They have always kept them in the lower birth. They have never allowed them to come to the upper birth at all. But the religions are not, see, none of the religions were created by the messengers of God. Jesus didn't create Christianity. Buddha didn't create Buddhism. Hindus, of course, there is no creator at all. There are plenty. Not a single person whom we can find. The Mahavira also didn't create a Jainism. All these were created by people who took the path of those masters. And what they preach as messengers of God was for the people to live in peace with all the other people there. That is what it said. So they have not understood what they have said. In what way they have advised the people to live in a peaceful manner so that the society elevates itself to a higher level. See, it is the human beings are the only people, only creatures who can elevate themselves to a divine level. No other creature can do that. Because we have that potential and the energy inside us. Inside us. That is why it is called, I go to the religious, but they say Tatvamasi. Tatvamasi means it is, you are that. You are that. So that itself, summarizes the entire philosophy behind this word. You are that, nothing else, nothing else. So if that be the case, why humans have not recognized that particular path and instead they've gone into a different path because they have misutilized the freedom given to the human beings. The animals, so we were talking about the knowledge, the academic knowledge, what we have gathered from the school, the college, and the universities and all that, and from all the exposure to the external world, the society, and everywhere. So all these things have contributed to our accumulation of knowledge, which is very good for the purpose of, advancement in your profession or in your career and all that. But it has not contributed anything, not even one bit to the, understand your own self. To understand the own self. Because that is much more important. Yes, we have taken ourselves for granted. See, I have taken my body for granted, isn't it? I don't bother about anything what is happening inside my body. The amount of work which the parts, internal parts which is happening inside our body is nobody is concerned. But they go on doing it 24/7 without any margin of error. And we have never bothered about how they function, or never expressed our even gratitude to those parts. We have never expressed our gratitude to the body which is carrying us all along for this entire, my age is 74. For 74 years, this body has taken care of me. But have I ever thought about it? Have I ever expressed any gratitude for my body? We do not do that. We don't do that. But that is what we are supposed to do. Every day in the morning, you should first express your gratitude to your internal parts. That is really what is called in Tamil as Ayudha Puja. See, we have a festival by name Ayudha Puja. See, we decorate the house and put all the instruments and implements, car, scooter, grinder, everything, and we worship all that. That is Ayudha Puja. But we don't perform that sort of puja for our internal parts, which are also implements. We are also taking care of us. We have taken it for granted. So that is the knowledge of cells, how the inner functions happen. How, if we think just for a minute how these internal parts carry on over without any provocation, without any knowledge, how they transfer knowledge from one cell to another, how they die by themselves, how they rejuvenate by themselves, how the body rejuvenates once in 7 years. The entire body is changing once in 7 years. All the cells are destroyed totally. And the new cells which they come in, they just come in and start functioning as if they have been already, tutored. Have they been tutored? Or the dying cells, have they passed on the technology by way of Bluetooth or something? No, we don't know. See, all these things are a matter of, not matter of curiosity. It's a matter of experimentation, in the matter of discovery, which the scientists should have done. They don't do that because they have taken the body for granted and go on focusing on the external world by using the instruments and all that. So the knowledge of self is the most important thing which each and every human being should have it. And that should have been taught in the earlier stage itself, where from our LKG, from the early school, primary school onwards, a little bit of a self-knowledge has been given. In a college, it should have been increased further. When they come to university, they should have a full knowledge of what is the body, what is the mind, what is the soul, or whatever you want to call it. What is how the universe is functioning, how the things are happening by themselves, without our provocation, without our involvement. How do they happen? Because most 95% of the things happen in the world are happening spontaneously, not on account of our effort at all. Our effort is very limited, and it happens only in the case of 5%. And we cannot predict the future at all. It's going on. It happens sometimes positively, sometimes negatively, sometimes totally differently. Nobody can predict. Then who is the one which is causing all these things? Because by cause and effect theory, for every effect there should be a cause. For every effect, there should be a cause. Without a cause, there is no effect at all. That's a cause and effect theory. So if things are happening by themselves, we can't say they are happening by themselves. They are happening due to a cause. Now, what is that cause? How is it happening? So all these things are to be understood only when we go to the extent of finding out what is the knowledge of the self. That has to be understood. Now, if you are not going to understand that, and whatever is happening now will continue to happen for another centuries, and the earth will come to an end. The operations on the earth will come to an end because we have already gone too far away from the nature. We have destroyed the nature to whatever extent possible by us. Whatever means, we have destroyed the nature totally. See, for instance, an average man eats about 35 tons of food materials in his lifetime. 3 truckloads or 4 truckloads. The food which he eats in his lifetime is around 35 tons. One man. We have 700 crore people in the planet. Now, multiply that and find out all the food which has been eaten, where it has gone. It has been converted into blood for all the people, which gives. That itself is a wonder. Whatever you eat, it gets converted into blood, which is nothing other than what the people call as alchemy. Converting iron into gold, they call it alchemy. But converting food into blood is a supreme alchemy, which nobody has diagnosed, which nobody has found. Now, after converting the blood, whatever comes out of the human body, the garbage, the dirt, 700 crore people, where is the trail? Where is it ended? Is it visible on the earth? They are totally degraded. Totally, they are degraded. So the dirt and the garbage which is generated by the human beings and the animals and the plant world, everything has been totally absorbed by the Mother Earth, and there is no trace left. This is the Creator's wonder. But whatever garbage we are creating, we are creating a plastic garbage, a kitchen garbage, an electronic waste, a medical waste, a nuclear waste, all sort of waste we have created. And all these are dumped on the earth, and people do not know how to dispose them of, and they are totally spoiling the entire atmosphere, the entire ecosystem, the entire water bodies, totally. So there is a difference between how the Creator, is enabled the earth to live naturally by disposing of by absorbing all the garbages. Then the other side, the man, how he is creating by his own inventions, he is not able to dispose them off in a degradable manner and save the earth from extinction. This is what knowledge has given to us. The academic knowledge has given to us that we go on producing anything and everything. We are unable to stop. We are unable to stop plastic production. We are unable to stop arms production. We are unable to stop medical waste production, nuclear waste, anything. It is just not possible. Is it possible? The entire world will collapse because there is an economic background to that. You can't stop manufacturing plastic. People will come, start fighting against each other. The IT industry is contributing roughly about 3% of the global warming now. And once the artificial intelligence comes in the full blast, it will rise up to 10%. So the 10% of global warming will happen only because of IT sector and social media, of course. It is part of that. What will happen? Can we avoid IT? We can't. We can't. So we have to live with the devil. But the problems will increase. Once the sea levels rise, once the global temperature rises by about 1.5 degrees, it is going to cause havoc in the world. So why I'm asking all these things is, what is the purpose of our knowledge? The academic knowledge, what we have gained. What's the purpose? Are we are already killing each and every other human beings by way of so many things. The violence is increasing like it's anybody's business. It's in states it happens, in societies it happens, between countries it happens, everywhere. Despite so many, there is a UN and all that, there is that treaty, so many things are there, but nothing is possible. People are still fighting with the new armaments and all that. How are you going to survive? The only way to survive is for the people of matter, the leaders, either the religious leaders or the political leaders or the economists and all that. These people should have a knowledge of the self. They should know whom they are. They should know why they have come into the earth. And they should know how to live with compassion. How to live with compassion. Whatever is being, invented, discovered and all that, they have got, a royalty, a patent and legacy rights, all those things, trademark rights and all that. Isn't it? Right from Albert Einstein time, Graham Bell time, every scientist has got his own, rights, patent rights and all that. Even now it is there. That is how the West has been duping the East. The Western countries have been suffering, making the people of developing countries into suffering only because of the royalty payments, technology royalty payments. Let it be IT or let it be armaments, anything. So they have been, taking money out of this developing countries by their own royalty claims and all that. But does nature claim any royalty from us? Does nature claim any royalty for the amount of oxygen which is supplying to all the human beings? Does the rains claim anything? Does the plants, do they claim any rights, any royalties? Everything is given to us free. And the masters who are authors of this knowledge of self, the divine knowledge, they have also given it free. Did Jesus claim any royalty? Buddha claim any royalty? Or Vadalar claim any royalty? Ramana, J. Krishnamurti, Osho, did they claim any royalty on the teachings? It is supposed to be given free. That is why they have come. But unfortunately, they have been pushed to the background. We are living on superficial things, which only satisfy our sensual perceptions, the sensory organs. They are being satisfied by this exposure to the social media, visual communications and all that. But otherwise, we do not even know that there is something like, gaining self-knowledge. That has to be done. What do you say? What is it, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
No, I was just saying that what do you say about this? Your views on that? Let it
Yeah,
interact.
you're very right. You're very right. with what you've been sharing, that people are attached to the superficial things of life and they really need to be enlightened. I agree on that.
So,
Yes.
so in order to start somewhere, the people first should start knowing by themselves, in a sense, they should first start finding out the functions of the body, the functions of the mind, and if at all, the function of the soul as such. Now, the only obstacle in the entire world for achieving this peaceful coexisting living, a life of peace and compassion for all the people, to achieve that, the only obstacle is our mind. Our mind is the only obstacle. And our mind is the only obstacle to achieve divinity. When you get into the spiritual field, see, there are two ways of going. One is the path of divinity, the other is the path of social living with the love and compassion, with the peacefulness, with the peace and happiness. These two are the things. If you are, whether you are religious or non-religious, I should be happy. Right? I should be peaceful and happy. That's all. That is the aim. People are after money or wealth and job and profession. Everything is only because they want to ultimately achieve happiness, the peace and happiness, which has been eluding them. Even if they earn more than 1 crore of rupees in a month, they are still not happy because they live with all sort of depression, stress, and tension and all that. Because they are after that. Because to stand in the same place, they have to run. That is the way the world is functioning now. So they are not able to achieve the peace and happiness despite having such a economic wealth and all that. It's not possible. Because they go on wanting to multiply and multiply, whether it is Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, everybody wants to multiply the wealth again and again and go back. So that is how it goes. So you will not be able to achieve happiness and peace. See, that is one aspect. The second aspect is to achieve divinity, which is possible only for human beings. Possible for human beings, nobody else. So to achieve divinity or to achieve peace and happiness or a compassionate living, both are having the same obstacle. That obstacle is our mind. Our mind is the obstacle. To know how this mind is an obstacle, then it's a big path. You have to travel the path. And then, of course, for that you don't need to go for. There are ways, of course. There are different ways. One is a way of doing meditation and going through that yogic exercises and all that. The other path is the path of knowledge, self-knowledge, where there are no efforts, there are no meditative classes, there is no yogic exercises, nothing of the sort. So that also is another path. So these two are the paths which goes to the ultimate aim of having a peaceful life. When in the path of divinity, you attain the divinity by achieving what people call it as mukti, the state of nirvana or the state of innocence, as Jesus Christ has said. So, in fact, Jesus says it openly in Bible. He says, unless you change your mind and become a child, you will not be able to enter the kingdom of heaven. That is what he says. Now, he says, we have already grown into adults, but he says you become a child again and achieve the state of innocence. Then only you can enter into he says kingdom of heaven, which we call it as mukti in our Hindu culture, or it is called as nirvana in Buddhism. All the same, all are same. All are same. The words are different. So he says you become a child. How do you become a child? By dropping your mind. To kill your mind. You go into a position of no mind. So all that sort of thing. So Jesus himself has said some 2,500 years back that the obstacle for you to become innocent or attain the state of mukti is nothing but your mind. You have to become a child. Because a child doesn't have a mind. A child is innocent. We have all gone through the state of innocence and become adults. And that state of innocence in the form of a child's mind is still there with us, with all the people, irrespective of his economic conditions, academic conditions, nothing. Everybody has got that state of innocence within him. but that is overshadowed by the artificial mind which has started accumulating right from our birth, which has been built over a period of time by amount of knowledge we have been imposed upon. The knowledge which we have borrowed from the other people, my parents, my society, my religious leaders, my political leaders, books, so many things, and my personal experiences in the life. All these are put together has created another mind, which I call it as a psychological mind. This is the author of this particular word is Jackson, a psychological mind. So I have a psychological mind, I have an intellectual mind. These two minds only have they are operating me as well as every human being. With that mind, that is a mind which creates all sorts of divisions in the society, all sort of all sort of conflicts, all sort of conflicts. The mind is the sole responsibility, the one person which has created all the divisions because of the mind. Because each and everybody has got a same body, but everybody doesn't have a same mind at all. The mind has graduated from the childhood in such a way by accumulating whatever experiences it has gathered over a period of years, according to the circumstances under which it lived, according to the circumstances under which it was brought up, according to the circumstances under which the knowledge is imposed by people around him. That is how each mind is on a unique way. Each mind has got a different perceptions. And because of the differing ways, there are conflicts in the world that people are not ready to willing to accept each other as one, even though they are one. I think the ultimate in divinity is that all the people are one. There is nothing other than that pure consciousness other than that. All the others are only, all of us are manifested forms different. Like we have different parts made of clay in different parts, the different sizes and all that. The space inside the pot is same. The space inside the pot is same. Same way, we have that pure consciousness in all of us, which is same, but the external body, which is a manifested form, is different. And because of the mind which is supporting the body, the artificial mind, which I call it as a psychological mind, that creates another division, and because of which we are not able to accept each other. The great problem in the world is we are not ready to accept what is happening in the world. We are not ready to accept other people at all, whether they are family members, whether they are friends, or whether they are corporate enemies. We are not willing to accept anybody other than me. So there, the question of ego and the me and mine come into picture, and that plays a very great part in deciding our actions and our speeches. We make speeches and actions based only on me and mine concept. If that can be dropped, then people will be able to talk to each other in a very compassionate way. That is what happens when animals meet each other. When animals meet each other, what do? There is no division. There is no conflict. There is no conflict at all. In fact, animals live a better life. You see, if I have a dog, I teach the dog to obey certain commands. It listens. It listens and it obeys. After some time, whatever command I give, it listens and does the job. So that means it understands my language. But do we understand the language of dogs? Never. We have never understood the language of dogs at all. And we will not understand the language of dogs. A sparrow builds a beautiful nest without any technical knowledge, without any technical background. It builds a beautiful nest with such a symmetry, such an aesthetics. Beautiful. Can we do that? I can't do it unless I learn the art. Same way, many animals, even though they are mind, they don't have a mind, but they have a special knowledge. Each one has got a special knowledge. If at all we compare that special knowledge, they are far more superior than us. Their level of perception and knowledge is much more actually, because they will be able to perceive whether the man who is coming near me is a good man or a bad man. They can perceive. The trees and plants, if somebody comes to cut the grass or something, they are supposed to tremble because they know the intention of the man that he is going to cut the grass. The birds and all that, they understand the incoming cyclone or rain and all that, and they take a safe passage. They have that superior knowledge. They have knowledge. So none of the living creatures are far, inferior to any other human being. They are far superior in their own right. But we think we are far superior and we try to pass over the world. That is what we are doing because of the lack of self-knowledge. So the self-knowledge is a very, very valuable knowledge which every one of us should assume. And it is in this particular aspect only I'm trying to teach some of the small groups here and there, 5 people, 10 people here and there, to pass on the knowledge so that they understand what is what. And I tell them that this is absolutely free and you don't need to go through any rigorous practice or any yogic exercises or meditative classes for longer periods, nothing of the sort. You just understand yourself. The knowledge which I'm trying to convey to you, which I have gained from the other masters. That's what I do. I'm trying to pass on that message and information and knowledge to other people. Let's see how far it goes. And I think you have given me a wonderful opportunity to speak to you and to your viewers and all that. So to whatever extent it is possible, I'm willing to help.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for enlightening us. It was really a pleasure to listen to you and would like to listen more and more. I'd like the younger generation who are suffering from depression to listen to what you share. And I would like them to come and sit with you in a session and open up their problems that they have, how to overcome the challenges they are facing, and how they have to overcome their ego issues, how they have to overcome in the superficial aspects in their life. I want a set of young children to sit with you, and I would like them to question you, and I would like you to give them answers, because they are seeking answers. They are seeking it from the wrong kind of people. So I think you're one great person who could answer them in the right way, the real meaning.
In Rajasthan quota, this year about 23 students, the IAS aspirants have committed suicide. 23 students, young students, they have committed suicide. Why? Because of their mind. The mind which has been tuned in such a way that they are not able to withstand their own mind. They are not able to withstand. The mind is a big villain actually. If it attains the energy, it will kill you. It will kill you. At the same time, your mind can take you to a higher level of divinity. That is also, see, the cross is there. Christians, they worship the cross. The cross is symbolic of the mind. The mind can be sort of horizontal, where almost all the people live in a horizontal line. Day in, day out, same job, monotonous routine and all that, they never, go above. But they have a way of going up. That is, the cross shows up, You have a possibility of elevating yourself to a higher level. So that is what I think the cross signifies. So that way, the people can be detuned from the mind. You have to detune them from the mind. We have to show them that you are not the mind. I can tell them, Sukumar Srinivasan, you are not your mind at all. The mind is not you. Your body is not you. Because the mind doesn't take any commands from you. Right? Mind doesn't take any commands from you at all. The same way, and mind doesn't obey you at all. If you want to think good things, it thinks about bad things. If you want to think bad things, it talks about the temple and all. And it never listens to you. It goes on sending out thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and afterthoughts and all that continuously. So the mental activity of the person is dependent, directly proportional to the amount of thinking he does. Thinking is a disease. You see, the human beings have 2 diseases. All the human beings have only 2 diseases. I don't talk about physical diseases. I talk about the 2 diseases. One is hunger. The second is, you will be surprised to know, thinking. Thinking is a disease. Because thinking saps your energy. If you are able to have a mind without thinking, you'll be really energetic, warm, and happy, full of joy and bliss. But the thinking doesn't allow you to do that. You start thinking about the past. You start thinking about the past. There is a beautiful parable. There is a beautiful parable in Bible. Jesus says, the way to life is narrow, uncongested. The way to life is narrow and congested. Only very few people go through it. But the other path is very broad. and lakhs of people go through it. It has got a significant meaning behind the parable. The man Jesus 2,500 years back, he talks a parable, which is, it doesn't give a direct meaning. Nobody can understand what is the meaning. Very few people will give that meaning, even Christians. I don't blame them because they have not been informed. See, this particular parable talks about living in the present. You see, you would have heard all these modern, corporate personality development people and all that, psychologists, and think in the present, live in the present. Jesus has already said that. When you live in the present, that means the path of the past, the path of future is very broad. Isn't it? The path of the past is very, very broad. So many years of memories are loaded. Same way, the future, so much of imagination is also very large. But the present is this particular second. You compare this particular second to the past and future, this becomes narrow and congested. This becomes broad. So the path of the past and future, lakhs of people go through. That means they die. But the people who are in the present will not die. In the same way, they attain divinity. That is the meaning of Jesus' parable. Such an excellent parable which he has given. And that is about the mind he talks. It is really surprising to know that Jesus talks about the mind. Will anybody accept that? They may not, because unless they understand what he has said in the true sense, they will not be able to accept. So the tuning of the mind is the most significant problem in the youngsters committing suicide. You see, in US, nearly 60% of the people are under depression. And they take a prescription drug for that. As such an advanced country, a developed country, they're supposed to be living in rich and all that. Why should they go for a depression? Why should they go for a prescription drug? Because, as I said in the beginning, they are only focused in the outer. They are not focused on the inner, which we do in our Hindu culture, and which has been forgotten by our present younger generation, because there is nobody to guide them about that. If at all I am depressed, I go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. He follows a Western allopathic medicine prescription, and that is of no use at all, because you have to continue to go to him constantly, perennially, all the time, and you will never get cured. That is how these drugs and all happen. You never get cured. It is being maintained. So when you go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, what happens is that is this. But when we come to us, then us in the sense our own Hindu culture, where we have a way of how to treat our own mind, how to describe and how to destroy our own mind, then you will be cured of the problem. There is no question of any depression, no question of any suicide or all that. So that is how I try to focus on the young Indians. Let's see how far it can go. I don't know. It's all a big task. But even if I are able to, bring up at least some 4 or 5 people out of the depression, I'll be very happy.
Yes, it was a very enlightening session. Thank you very much. As you mentioned, the 2 major diseases in the world is hunger and thinking. Very true. Very true. I really agree on this, because I've seen many youngsters and the middle-aged and senior citizens who give more time to thinking and live in the past than living in the present and enjoying the present moment and understanding the real meaning of life. Is to enjoy
one more thing is that there is no present.
Yes.
There is no present. I say there is a present, live in the present, but there is no present. Because by the time I talk about present, it becomes past.
Past. Very true. And you've also spoken on the innocence of a child. And you've given us so many beautiful aspects to focus and to think in the right way. To understand ourselves in the accurate way. That's really wonderful, sir. We look forward to many more interactions with you. I would like you to give us one more session in future as well, or maybe you could give us once in 15 days, because if you say you want to reach out to the younger generation.
I will give 2 more sessions.
Yeah, thank you.
I will, go into the aspect of the mind, how to go about the mind, and what is the context, or what is the content and the structure of the mind, and how to do away with the mind and all that. That will take another 2 sessions. So after that, we can interact with the people directly and then try to solve the problems, whatever it is.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being so kind and having a large heart and you want to serve the public in the right way. This is called as the real service, to the public, making them really understand as to what this life is all about. Many, many thanks to you, sir. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Indrajit sir as well. And
to thank Indrajit also, because I just casually talked to him. He said he gave a pep talk and all that. I never thought he will talk. I mean, organize some this. I never knew about it. So I was really pleasantly surprised that there is a avenue to talk something which we know, and try to bring in people. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Looking forward to many more interactions. And my dear friends, whatever has been shared today by sir, whatever he spoke on the truth about ourselves, we should really take this forward and live a beautiful life and understand the real existence of this human body. Thank you so much, sir. Looking forward to the next session.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks you.
Thank you. My dear friends, if you like what we are doing on the International Fabtalks, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And of course, don't forget to share this beautiful video with the right kind of people. You might really get so many inputs and you'll get a deep insight into your own lives when you really go through this wonderful video with the wonderful sharing that sir has shared today with lots of experience, wisdom, and a true heart. Stay blessed and stay safe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.